Hello everyone, and thank you for tuning in to this third episode of us trying to figure out what our next home is going to be. We are blown away by the amount of interest and the amount of comments that we've been getting lately. So thank you for everybody sharing their opinions and for tuning in and seeing what's coming next.
The support has been overwhelming in a fantastic way. You guys are awesome. And it's been our YouTube community, Facebook, Instagram, like all hands are on deck on this one. We couldn't feel more loved.
We did already purchase something, but it is not an RV. So we will go over that in just a couple minutes and we'll talk more about what it is that we did get. We did a little bit of a poll just to kind of get more of an idea of what everybody is kind of leaning towards. Class B, B plus and C, travel trailer, fifth wheel, and a truck camper. It only let me do 5. I couldn't get Class A in there.
So we went ahead and we just eliminated that option.
Yes, I would be interested in looking more at Class A's, but the Class A is it's usually a bigger category. The smallest one that I found that I was like interested in looking at was the Newmar Baystar Sport, I think it is, the 2702. It's like a 27'11" Class A that's built by Newmar, a nice, good luxury kind of company. So interesting to look at those, but for us, a Class A is just not going to work out very well. Overwhelmingly, B plus and C is number 1, followed by travel trailer, followed by the fifth wheel, and then, believe it or not, Class B and a truck camper are tied. I can't believe there's not more people that want to see us into a Class B.
Well, I think if I were to guess, it would be because our first reason that we wanted to change was because of space, and the Class B and the truck camper they're obviously like what we just had for space. So
I'm curious if the majority of our viewers are actually in B pluses or C's, or if that's just like a bigger market. I'm not sure.
Maybe we'll have to do a new poll on what are they in.
Okay, overwhelmingly, it seemed like in the B plus C category, Echo was thrown out there a lot. That's the all-wheel drive Ford Transit gas kind of B box type of thing that Winnebago just put out. We've never seen one in person. I don't even know if there's any out there right now. I know some are on order and people are getting theirs soon here in early summer. Pretty cool. Not the exact rig for us, but I think it would be interesting to see one, and maybe that would change our mind.
Yeah, I'm actually unfamiliar with the details of the Echo.
Yeah.
I have some brushing up to do on that one.
You do. It's all-wheel drive. It's a bigger box, but it's shorter. I think it's like 22 feet, so it's like a van, but a little bit more space. All-wheel drive. I'm not sure how good that ground clearance is, though. It might be similar to a van.
Okay.
Leisure travel van has been thrown out there time and time again. So that is a very, very popular. We've never been in a leisure travel van. They do look really nice. We've been in the Airstream Atlas, which is a similar platform. But the leisure travel van isn't quite as expensive as the Atlas, but it's still really, really nice. And I can see why it's a very popular platform. And they have a bunch of different layouts. I think like 6 floor plans. And the Atlas just comes in the 1 right now.
Oh, 6 floor plans. That's a lot.
It is. So it gives people a lot of options for what they're looking for.
Yes.
Since we've been in an Airstream Atlas, we are familiar with that B plus platform.
What I liked about the space is it did give you that feeling that you were no longer in a van and that you were in a small apartment. And that is the feeling we're looking for.
Yeah, I think we'd want something a little bit more off-road capability. I don't know how the tanks are on those. I don't think the Atlas was very big. I'm not sure about LTV. But for us, we want something that's a little bit more off-grid capable. And we don't really want to tow a small vehicle with one of those.
We really don't. No, so motor coaches and towing, is that the way that we want to go? I don't think so.
Yeah, I agree. The A, the B, and the C, the motorized coaches are great for many, many reasons. But I think since that's kind of what we came from, we want to try a different route. So we're looking at more of the towables. A lot of you guys have guessed truck and trailer. So what we did buy was a truck. And it was a crazy experience. I mentioned a couple videos ago on how difficult it was to shop right now. It was just a nuts experience shopping for a truck. There's a huge shortage. The used trucks are within like $5,000 to $10,000 of a brand new one, and these would be like 3 to 4 years older with 30 to 60,000 miles on them. So we did end up going with a new truck. It was a truck that I kind of fell in love with, and when Chris saw it, she loved it too. It's a 2021 Ford F350 diesel, single rear wheel with the Tremor package.
You guys, I never thought I would say this about a truck, but it is sexy. She is good looking, and I'm really excited to share her.
And honestly, we had way too many decisions available to us. It was too many. We had that decision fatigue again that we've talked about before. When you have all these different options, like it's too much, it's overwhelming. And so we decided to go one direction, which is towards a truck, which still allows us to look at truck campers, trailers, and fifth wheels. So we still have a good option. We just basically eliminated the motorized category.
Yeah, and we knew that we were leaning heavily towards a truck plus something, so that helped in our decision to get a truck right away. Another reason that we got a truck right away is after we sold our van, we don't have a vehicle.
Yeah.
We have our e-bikes. We could easily get around on our e-bikes here to like do grocery shopping and get out and do stuff, but when it comes to actually driving to an RV dealership or looking at tours or like going to purchase an RV, which is our number one focus right now.
Yeah. Could you imagine not having a way to do that?
So then we're looking at renting a vehicle, which that's upwards of $1,000 per week. Obviously, we wouldn't need to get it a week at a time to go on little day trips, but just imagining the logistics of doing these rentals day by day and the amount of money we would spend on that, we're like, well, let's just get ourselves a truck. And not only will it help us, focus our RV shopping down, but it will then make this next month of transition so much more comfortable so that we actually have a vehicle to live normally.
So now that we have a truck, we're able to do RV shopping. We want to go to a bunch of dealers and do a bunch of kind of tour videos, even though inventory is not that great right now, but we're at least able to take some trips and see some things so we can get actual footage for you guys of some different stuff that we're considering. And also now we can do some of these local attractions and have some fun while we're here too. And that's what we're doing in about a week, which is going to be an airboat ride in the swamp.
Yes, an airboat tour so we can see some of Florida's finest wildlife. And believe it or not, since we've been full-time RVers, we've never seen an alligator in real life.
Yeah, and we've never been on an airboat either, so we're looking forward to this. So we'll be able to do one of our kind of travel style episodes and bring you along with that and have a little bit of fun while we're shopping for this next rig.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that we are focused and zeroed in, we have a truck, we know that we have kind of 3 options. If you're watching this when it launched, we do not have an RV unless like we buy one in the next couple of days.
Which is
well, we are going to go shopping, but most likely not going to happen. So we still don't have one, so we're still up in the air. So we appreciate everybody's opinions on what they're kind of doing. So thank you everybody for giving your opinions and your different styles of travel and your rigs and all that type of stuff. It's been great to read through those comments. And now we can kind of focus on the new direction. I'll say between the 3, the truck camper, the fifth wheel, and the travel trailer, we are leaning towards the travel trailer, but we don't quite know for sure. Somebody had a great idea of having an interim rig while we continue to shop, which I've been kind of keeping my eye out for something like that, because that's a good possibility that we need a temporary RV so that we can either order one or there's a lot of stuff on the West Coast that we want to shop that there's just not those RVs over here. So that might be an option too, where we just get
a holdover.
Yeah, a cheaper, smaller, not perfect rig, but something that gets us back out there. So let's talk about truck campers real quick. Truck campers were not the most positive. I know there's a few people that have them, and the people that have them absolutely love them. I don't know if it's kind of more intimidating. A little bit for me it is, because you gotta, load it, secure it correctly, and One thing we want to do is more off-road type of stuff and get out there a little farther, which I think the truck camper will help a little bit, but if it's too heavy, then you're in trouble. And believe it or not, truck campers get really, really heavy. Like the big double slides,
Top heavy.
triple slides, they weigh like 4,000 or 5,000 pounds. That's where you need a big dually pickup truck, dually 1 ton to be able to handle that. So our 1 ton has a payload of 3,500 pounds, which is pretty good. And so we would need to stick to, something 3,000 pounds or lighter. And there's a handful of truck campers that do that. There's the Lance 850 and the 855S, which is a slide out model. The Arctic Fox has one that's model 811 and 865. And then Northern Light also makes one as well. And the thing with these truck campers that I found, but their tank sizes are small if you get a smaller truck camper. And they're not even small truck campers. They're not the big double slide. So the tanks don't really get that big. For example, roughly 30 fresh, 20 gray, 18 black. Some are 25 black. Some are the heavier ones that are like over, like 3,000 pounds have like a 31 gallon black tank.
31 would do it. 18 would not do it for us.
That would be tough. It would be fine for an interim truck camper.
For an interim, it'd be fun.
Yes, because right now we're dealing with 0. So anybody with more suggestions on their truck campers, send them our way. We would like, something that's well built and nice, but the weight is a big issue, and I don't know. I'm just not sure if like a truck camper is the right idea for us. We'd have to figure out our bikes. We don't have the bed anymore for space, but what it does is it keeps us in that really small footprint.
Which we like. That's a pro.
That is a pro. So it'd be pretty sweet to have that small footprint. Even though you can't do any crazy off-roading, you can still, with the ground clearance of our truck, you can really get out there.
Yeah.
So.
It'd be fun.
Yeah, and speaking of the truck, if you haven't heard of the Tremor package for Ford, it's just an awesome little package with a bit of a lift, some off-road wheels, a little bit of a off-road suspension, but what it does is it has the big towing capability. It can still tow 15 to 20,000 pounds, and it's still a big 1-ton truck with heavy payload. A lot of these off-road trucks, like a Raptor or Ram TRX or something like that, is off-road, but they lose the payload, and so they're not great for camping. So we're going to do an additional video, like a truck tour or something, and talk more about this truck because I really think it's a perfect RVer's truck. Next, let's talk about the fifth wheels. And Chris likes to joke that I lured her into this dream life of these fifth wheels. I started showing her, these 35-foot fifth wheels with island kitchens and fireplaces and 2 couches and a kitchen table and a big bedroom.
Room for my piano.
Yeah.
Which is now in a storage box for 2.5 years. Yeah, he did lure me in. He dangled a little carrot of all this fancy fifth wheel condo on wheels. And I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but hey, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with being open to different things, and whatever it is will be great.
So what got me into looking at fifth wheels was Montana came out with a 32-foot, this is the Montana High Country, I think it was just end of last year maybe, and it's 32 feet, it's the 281 and 280 CK I think is the model, and they are pretty cool for a small fifth wheel. It has everything, big tanks, a ceiling fan, fire pit. And Montana seems to be a great fifth wheel. A lot of full-timers like fifth wheels. If you've never been in a fifth wheel, that might be like the ultimate thing to live on the road, especially if you spend a lot of time in RV parks. It's the closest to a 1-bedroom apartment. And some of those big ones are they have, raised living rooms and big kitchens, and they are just fun to be in.
Yeah, in terms of living space, I think it would be the most comfortable for a full-timer to live in. Aside from traveling in it, driving in it, towing it, just looking at living in it, that would be the most comfortable. Yeah,
and I think we're leaning away from a fifth wheel. We're still keeping everything open at this point, but we kind of still want to stay small. We haven't transitioned into that where we just want to drag our fifth wheel across the country and leave it parked for a month. I do know that a lot of people boondock in them and move them all over the place, but since we've never towed anything, a fifth wheel might be kind of a
big step up.
Yes, we might be skipping a couple steps in between.
I like to keep our training wheels on for a little bit longer.
Yes. Now on the smaller fifth wheels, it's too bad that there's not many companies that are coming out with like a mid-level fifth wheel, mid to high level, that's shorter. All of like the nice high-end fifth wheels are like 35 to 42 feet. They don't really have those short ones. So Outdoors RV, a lot of you guys mentioned Outdoors RV. They are a great company. We have a couple friends, Matt and Diana from Adventurous Way. If you have an outdoor RV, I'm sure you know those guys. They've been living in an outdoors RV for a couple years. They pretty much hit the road when we did. We met them at an Escapers event, and they're two great people, and they still recommend that. And we've had other full-time friends that are interested in looking closer at those outdoors RVs.
Yeah.
Let's just say a 30-foot RV fifth wheel, has 4-foot overhang into the bed. So it's kind of more like towing a 26-foot lengthwise, but they're really, really tall. A lot of those are like 13 and a half feet tall, something like that. So
yeah,
it's not just like the length, it's the height with those things. They're massive. So I could see us in one of those someday. I just don't think this time around is going to be the perfect fit, but again, we don't know yet, so we're kind of keeping things open.
The height of the fifth wheel and the height of the truck camper is a deterrent for us going those two directions.
Okay, on to the last category that a lot of you were guessing we were going towards, the truck and travel trailer. That is the direction that we're going to kind of focus our attention on. We're not going to rule anything out at this point, and we're still, as we're out RV shopping, we're going to try to, if we see some cool Class Bs or B pluses or anything that tickles our fancy, we're gonna
hop in it and look.
We're gonna check them out. So the travel trailers, you guys all know we love Airstream. You've seen us do many tours of those. The 25 front bed Airstream in either the Flying Cloud, the International, or the Globetrotter. We love that. That would, if there was no worries about anything, maybe we would just go order one of those and just be done with it. But that is definitely on the very, very high end. Those are extremely expensive, and right now they're very expensive. So it's something that we have to keep into consideration. And, Airstream is not the exact perfect rig for us. I think it checks a lot of things. The interior.
Love the interior.
We love it. It would give us that homey type of feeling that we love. The tank sizes are actually not that bad. So the 25 FB has like 37 fresh, 35 gray, and 40 black. That's pretty good for a 25-foot trailer. And really, that's as big as their tanks get. So from like the 25 to the 30-foot, they're all about that size, give or take a gallon or two here. So those are pretty good. And you can always add more fresh water, especially if you have a truck and you're doing a trailer. You could get a bladder with 30 gallons and head out to your boondocking spot. People mentioned the 27 FB2. That is a better floor plan on the inside. It gives you that extra couple feet. We just want to stay smaller, I think. But the 27 FB is a better floor plan if size wasn't an option.
Yeah, or if a really great deal presented itself, we would consider a 27. But we'd like to stay at the 25. For sure, wouldn't consider anything over the 27.
Okay, another trailer that we found just recently, and a few people mentioned this, is the Black Series. Those are some wicked cool off-road trailers. I mean, have you seen these things?
Yeah, you showed them to me a few nights ago, and I was like, yep, let's buy one. Let's get one of those. Let's get the 21 HQ.
You were actually on board with getting one.
I was ready to sign my life over.
These things are pretty cool. They kind of like marry Airstream and like whatever, an off-road monster truck. Like, it's crazy. They have a lot of ground clearance, but the inside is very luxurious, and it has a lot of European-ish stylings, I guess.
It is style forward.
Yeah, but we've never seen one before. But they have a newer model that came out last year called the HQ21, which is 28 feet long. But that includes this massive double tire thing on the back, which I think is about 2 feet. So I think the trailer itself is more closer to 26 feet. The problems with those is they're narrower. They're only 7.5 feet wide instead of like an Airstream is 8.5 feet wide. And they're shorter for more off-road, center of gravity, I would imagine. They're only 6'3" on the inside. And that's like what our van was.
Yeah, and one of the things I really, really, really want to keep on our must-have list is an environment that Aaron can like stand tall and confident and not worry about hitting his head. And he would be in this one. There would be a couple of low spots like the AC. There's a bedroom door header that we saw drop down a few inches.
Yeah.
And so he'd have to learn those areas. And again, he'd be like ducking and confined.
It'd have more width, but the AC right in the middle, if I would hit my head on that, it would just be every time you go from the front to the back. Like
you'd feel like you're in the van again.
Yeah. So we want to see one in person. There is none in Florida at all. There's some in like Georgia and all across like the West Coast a little bit more.
If any of you guys own one and you're in Florida and you'd let us walk through it just to look, not to try to buy it from you, let us know. Because we just want to see one of these because it would really help if we could see one.
Yeah.
If we want to then do we want to then move forward with something on the West Coast and put through those motions? Going back to the Airstream, we wouldn't be able to pull the Airstream as many spots as what we could with, say, a Black Series. And we're like, well, what good is having this badass truck if we can't pull our trailer out with it?
That's true. And a lot of trailers aren't designed to go off-road anyways, but Airstreams are particularly low. I know you can lift those 3 inches fairly easy. So that would just be a must-have that we would have to do. And I know there's a ton of people that boondock in full-time in Airstream, so it's completely doable. And that's kind of why at first it was our number one pick, but now we're just kind of keeping our options open. Moving along, back to outdoors RV. We know there's a lot of big fans out there. They're from Oregon, I think.
Yeah.
And so they're West Coast, and you're in the Pacific Northwest. You see them everywhere. You go more towards east, you don't see them that much. But there's people that drive cross country to buy these things. They're well built. They're heavy. They have huge tanks.
Yeah.
They have 80 fresh and 40 gray and 40 black. And that's cool. They're massive. They have a domed ceiling, so they're a couple inches taller on the inside. I think they're 6'11" on the inside. So they're nice and open and spacey. But their interior is definitely a decor that we do not love. It's more cabiny, woodsy, dark tones.
Yeah, it is. It wouldn't be it's not a deal breaker for us. We're still considering these. They're high on our consideration list. And this is a case where function would trump appearance.
Yeah, or we could remodel a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Matt and Diana remodeled theirs and did painted it white and put a desk in there.
And they love it so much more.
Yeah, theirs looks good.
Those are attracted to us for all those reasons Aaron said.
Yeah.
Craftsmanship, durability, tank sizes, it would get us out there doing what we want to do.
And they have a couple models. So they have a 21 RBS, which is a lower gross vehicle weight, 8,200 pounds. That's a 25-footer. It's more of a studio style. We would like a separate kind of bedroom that some of these have, but some of them don't. There's the heavier weight one that's called the 22 FQS, which is a little bit longer at 26'8". But that one has a really nice kitchen. Big kitchen. Really nice kitchen. And then there's I think the model that we really like, but it's again pushing this length that we don't want to get to. It's 28 feet. It's the 24 RLS, but that adds in a couch or a couple chairs in the back, plus the table, and so and a nice living space. Oh, and the separate bedroom. So it's for them, for their style outdoors RVs. It seems like most of them are single kind of room. Even their 26'8" still has the bedroom
very
right
close
next to the kitchen, and I don't like that. I don't get that. I mean, it's probably because it's more designed for a weekender or a week type of use.
Yeah.
But when you're in it full time, a separated bedroom would be really, really nice to have.
Just so it doesn't feel like a studio apartment.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what it comes off as.
Yeah.
When you could jump from your kitchen counter onto your bed, it feels like a studio.
Yeah. And so we've never been in one of these besides Matt and Diana. So we've been in the 21 RBS, but I've never been in any other models. Thompson RV does some great videos of those, and I like them. They're cool. definitely high on the list for sure. Now, the lightweight version, kind of the opposite of the ORV, is the Lance. And the Lance, we know somebody else that full-time's in a Lance, loves it. Lance is very interesting. They have big tanks. They're 45, 45, 45. So like every tank is 45. That's a great space for a smaller trailer. Their gross vehicle weight is only 6,200 pounds. They're a lightweight trailer. And so for half-ton towable people, I mean, I think they love this thing because it gives you a lot of bang for your, I don't want to say bang for your buck because they're more on the spendy side, but for like features and things like that on a lightweight trailer. And so we've never been in one of these either, so I have no idea. But the 2075, a lot of you guys mentioned, that seems to be a great one. It's 24'9". It has a big dinette in the back with these beautiful windows. The bedroom, remember I showed you the bedroom last night?
Yeah.
The bedroom is big. It has giant windows on both sides, the stargazer type of window that you can look out.
That was nice.
Cabinets on both sides, big walk around. I don't know if it's a king or a queen, but really, really big, great bedroom with a door on. I don't know if there's a door or not, but it's separated at least.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a curtain. But the kitchen is smaller than the van.
Yeah.
It's smaller than the van.
That would be a trade-off.
What do we do about that?
Hey, if I'm getting a dry bath and I'm getting a bed with a sectioned off bedroom, you know, and all these other things, I can maintain the kitchen as long as it's not small, too much smaller. I mean,
we'd have to see it in person. It's just, that's such a big part of what,
our lifestyle.
Yeah. But these have outdoor kitchens, and we've
They
now
had a full-size fridge though, right?
Yeah. But
as long as it doesn't have a 3.3 cubic foot fridge, I'm fine.
And there is the table next to the kitchen, so you can kind of use that as some temporary counter space. And we've done a lot more outside cooking lately, so that's something to think about there.
Yeah, the fridge would be the big thing. As long as I have a regular sized RV refrigerator, then I could deal.
Okay, so that is just kind of the short list of a lot of the things that we're looking at. I think there's a lot of options still, but at least we have it narrowed down a little bit. We are going to get out and try to see some of these rigs if we can in the Florida area, but it's kind of tough to do. So stay tuned for our actual shopping and touring videos of anything that we can find that we can look at and see if it will be a good fit for us. And also, like I said, we're going to get out and do a little bit more fun stuff into Florida and have a little bit of fun while we're doing this as well.
And we will be showing our truck.
Yes, and the truck tour will be coming out probably after this video, possibly, and just to give you a peek at that. And otherwise, we love the support. We love the comments. We love the suggestions. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and hopefully people are not too disappointed. I know there's a lot of love in the motorized section, and you know, rightfully so. That's kind of what our channel started out as, is the Class B channel, and it's grown since then into, I mean, we get comments from everybody now, all different types of rigs. So just part of the evolution, and we're looking forward to still doing tiny living, to still showing and sharing tips as we learn them. And that's kind of, again, like we talk about the fun factor, the spice factor. We want to continue being excited and having fun and taking our new rig out into the middle of a boondocking spot and just learning and growing and having fun with it.
I can't wait to get back out there.
Yeah, so thanks again for everybody watching, and we'll see you on the next one.
See you next time.
We've been sliding since I don't remember when.